think about the generations and to say we want to make it a better place for our children and our children's children, so that they know it's a better world for them.
Peace and blessings to you all. We invite the one and only world-renowned herbalist, Dr. Sebi.
Thank you so very much for coming. Every time there's a crowd of people that come to hear me speak, naturally, I'm elated because I'm the little boy that didn't go to school. I'm the little boy that didn't like to comb his hair. I'm still that same little boy. I haven't changed. My name is Sebi. And I have to thank Reverend Miles Monroe, which is the head of the list, for allowing us the privilege to hold this little gathering this evening. And Jamal, Julian, and company. And you, most of all, the greatest participant. You're going to be my judge today. Yes, and you qualified to be my judge. You see, I'm the little boy that was very obedient, not only to my mother and my grandmother, but to everybody. I'm still that little boy. So today, we're going to present an argument that seems to be a little bit foggy in our head. And between you and I, we would solve this little problem. Because in the audience, there are people much smaller than me, of course. Because I don't know anything about carpentry. I can't even make a pair of pants. I don't know a whole lot of things. And I hope that the good Lord has placed in my hands this art, this gift, and that I, his servant, would do this job the best I could possibly do. So between you and I, we're going to travel this journey. I don't want to come to the Bahamas and deploy a bunch of words that in the end, it makes no sense. Well, I was never in that audience listening to anyone talk about philosophy. That didn't worth anything. I hear my friends talk about Socrates and Plato, Diogenes and the rest. Didn't matter. They talk about mathematics. That didn't matter with me either. My mother wanted me to be a tailor. I threw the thimble at the man. Later to find out, 37 years later, that I had to go back and heal this man. I said that because I was a little boy, 12 years of age, that had the privilege to live according to the dictates of his own self. I had that privilege. My mother and my grandmother, not my father. So we're going to begin with the Holy Bible. In the book of Genesis, first chapter, 29th verse, it states that the herbs are for the healing of the nations. I didn't make that up. You see, I'm a Christian. Not only am I a Christian, I am a Muslim. I am a Buddha. I am everything in one. Because why? I have to love everybody. So you see, it doesn't matter with me. I make it easy. I make it very easy. I love everybody and everything. I'm not even a man. Oh no, not even that. I'm a male by gender. But a man, never knew what that was. But I saw people who call themselves men hurt each other because one has to prove that he's more than the other. With me, Ernest told me one night, "You're not a man, I'm going to tell you to your face." I say, "I'm glad you're telling me to my face and not my back." He said, "Anybody talk like you's not a man." I say, "You're right. Don't even know what it is. I'm a male by gender," and it stops right there. So in Genesis 1:29, it says that the herbs are for healing. I am a Christian, grew up in the Anglican Church and the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and they were very good. Even when I joined the Muslims, they were good too. Every religion teaches righteousness, isn't it? Of course. So I got the best from every one of them. And in the Quran, it states that the trees are for healing. The Bible, the herbs are for healing. The Bhagavad Gita, the Talmud, the Torah, and all the religious books. What happened? Should the question be asked, how did we stray from God's mandate? God is showing us the herbs are for healing. What happened? How come we just overlook God? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Because my brother, Pastor Gale, everybody in Honduras knows my brother as Pastor Gale. Well, my mother asked me to become the preacher because she thought that my vocabulary was a little bit more extensive than my brother. So when she asked me to be the preacher, I said, "Mom, I don't think I want to be that." She said, "Why?" I said, "Because there's a problem in my head." Because every preacher that I have met, when they get sick, they go and get a chemical. The Bible says the herbs are for healing. So I don't want to be a preacher. I want to be something else. But I didn't know what that something else was going to be. So one day when I'm 27, I became diabetic. At 28, I became impotent. At 30, I'm insane, and I weigh 291, and I'm very angry. Wind up in New Jersey in a sane asylum or psychiatric ward with schizophrenia and paranoia. You're looking at him. That's me. That's my history. You could research that. To crawl from paranoia and schizophrenia after being treated by the conventional medicine, which is all we know, we are subjected to that. We shouldn't be angry because that's all we know. I was one of them. So I was very sick. I want to kill my wife. Yeah. Marilyn Woods, a beautiful lady. A woman that look, she gave me love beyond. Why did I want to kill her? You know why? The same reason Angela Yates killed her 5 children. Same reason. The boy was sick. And all the doctors are asking me some crazy questions and gave me some crazy pills. And one day, I got a call. Alfredo, that's my name, by birth. Alfredo, the call is from New Orleans. There is a man in Mexico that could heal you. I say, you out of your mind, Ronald. I've been to doctors in Moscow, not Moscow, Leningrad, London, Paris, Morocco, Casablanca. And you can tell me there's somebody in Mexico? You say, yes, there is. You better go. I went. The man said, where you from? From Honduras. He said, you kind of full of shit. That's what he said in Spanish. Estás lleno de mierda. I said, sir, what do you mean by that? He said, look, cut your stomach. I had a belly out here 42. But I couldn't see it. Because when the stomach begins to rise, you never notice it. It comes very subtle. And you accept it because everybody else above you, your age, has one too. He said, you are full of shit. So you've been eating it. What do you eat? I eat eggs, chicken, hogs, cows, lamb, everything, because this is what I have been trained to eat. He said, well, it's been hurting you. I'm impotent. At 30, I'm impotent. The last woman that I tried to make love with was Audrey. What's wrong with you? I said, I don't know. The doctors, the urologist in California, he was playing his games. This Mexican came and said to me, stop eating. Stop eating. I said, how long, a day? He said, no. At least 90 days. I said, you out of your mind. He said, I may be out of my mind, but I'm 94. But you are full of shit. He gave me these herbs. I went home. I took them as prescribed. I had problems. I had a problem on the fourth day. I didn't eat anything. Herbs, water, and juice. Herb, water, and juice. But then, on about the seventh day, I began to feel like, wow, God, I will never eat again. Because, see, my nerves were very bad, and I felt very calm. I abstained from eating for 94 days. At the ending of 94 days, everything that I had before was gone, from diabetes, the impotence, and I was going blind. I had these glasses. You see, the man told me, you, like the rest of them, is violating God Almighty, and you don't even know it. Everything you put in your mouth, God did not make. I said, what do you mean? God didn't make a cow. He said, well, you better do some research. And when I began to do the research, based on this Mexican, Alfredo Cortez in Cuernavaca, Morelos, Mexico, he said, just take your eyes and look around. Do you see any cows in the forest? No. You see buffaloes. Cows is only in somebody's pasture. Hogs in somebody's pasture. Dogs in somebody's house. God did not make a dog either. Chicken? You say not? Well, at the ending of 90 days, here I am. 48 years ago. I was 30, I'm 78 now. You see the difference? So I'm still obedient to that same mandate. So now, the herbs are for the healing of the nation. Why? Why did God place that in the Bible? According to the Bible, these are the words of God. We're not going to question them. Of course not. Because we're not that smart, right? No. So now, if the herbs are for healing, when did it change? When did it change from the herbs to a carcinogenic chemical? And why? These questions should be asked. We have the right to question everything. Why not? After all, I'm the son of Africa. Who owns me? Tell me, who owns me? Nobody. Nobody owns me. I have the right like everybody else. And I, as a young boy, I never saw a king or a queen that was superior to me. No, how could that be? When I'm the only person on the planet, unique, unlike everybody else. So I'm not better than anyone, nor worse than anyone. I hold a unique position. So I ask the question, when did it change? Because if it's in the Bible, not only in Genesis, Ezekiel and Revelation. And what about Jesus? Why is the daughter of Jerusalem sick? Is there no balm in Gilead? Even Jesus knew about herbs. So when did it change? When I brought this to my brother, he looked at me like I was a snake. I said, hey, bro, this in the Bible. Why are you angry at me? Be cool now. Just be obedient. Be nice. Be nice. Hippocrates, 365 years before Christ was born, Hippocrates was curing every disease known to man. Claudio Galeno, the Italian, 1729, he did miracles with plants in Italy. That's right. He's better known as Paracelsus. When did it change? I was arrested in New York, the year 1987. Why was I arrested? Because of the same thing that probably Jesus was hung for. Defending what is called righteousness. You don't do that. You could be right, but you could also be dead right. That's the era in which we live. I placed the papers because of my mother. My mother said, you have been helping a lot of people with herpes and lupus and diabetes. My mother saw me heal many people with AIDS. My mother said, how are you going to tell people that? I said, I don't know, because everybody that hear me tell people that you cure people with AIDS, they laugh at me. You talking about your son, because he is your son. And my mother would feel a little bit strange with that response. She said, why don't you do yourself a favor? I was in Washington one night. She said, why don't you do yourself a favor? I said, what? Put the ad in the paper that you cure AIDS and all the other diseases. Don't you be afraid, because you have no reason to be afraid. Because you told me once that you don't fear God or the devil. And that was the truth. Why should I fear God? No, you give me a good reason why I should fear God. I love God. She said, okay, do it. So me and my mischievousness, I went to New York. I put the ad in the Village Voice, the Amsterdam News, and the New York Post. And if you would like to do research, you have the privilege. Call the Amsterdam News in New York and ask them to sell you the newspaper that was written November the 2nd of 1985, 86, and 87. The ad ran 2 years. Ask for it, please. buy the newspaper, you will see the ad where it states, AIDS has been cured by the Usher Research Institute. And we specialize in cures for leukemia, sickle cell, lupus, herpes, paralysis, impotence, and others. Boy, when that ad hit the streets of New York, my place was packed with people. I used to see like 40 people a day. And the Attorney General, well, he wasn't too pleased. Who is so bold to put such ad in the newspapers that AIDS has been cured? Arrest that man. Oh, yeah? Well, I know that my mama, you see, my mama is all I ever had. I remember sucking my mother's breast because I didn't stop until I was 5. So you know I was close to her. So when the woman would tell me to do something, I would jump on it quick. So they put me in jail. They came to my center in New York. Are you, a.k.a. Dr. Sebi? I say, I am. Well, the grand jury has indicted you for practicing medicine without a license, selling products not approved by the FDA, and claiming to cure AIDS and other diseases, which is a fraudulent claim. Oh, I was shaking in my knees. I asked the officer, I said, Mr. Officer, why do you have your gun drawn in your hand? He said, the element of surprise. I said, sir, wait. My mother told me that when this ad would hit the street, that you will be coming with your guns. So enough for your surprise. My mama done told me that 2 years ago. So the poor detective was kind of baffled because I was supposed to be frightened. Frightened of what? I'm not afraid of God or the devil. In fact, I love the devil. Of course I love Satan. Why not? Who made him? God did. And you think God made Satan without a purpose? No. And they all, remember, I'm a Christian. Everything God made is good. I live that, or try to as much as I possibly can. That's me, that same little boy. Haven't changed. So I was arrested, taken to jail. While I have these cuffs on, the detective asked me, why you advertise that you cure AIDS? I said, Mr. Detective, you have just compromised the state of New York to me. When the cops was on me and they put me out the door, Channel 5, Channel 3, Channel 2, and Channel 13 was right in front of my face. And Channel 7 came and said to me, asked me, Dr. Sebi, do you really cure AIDS? I said, I cure AIDS then, I cure AIDS now, and as long as I live, I cure AIDS. Well, how do you feel to be arrested? Me? I feel good. Because the police just gave me the privilege to disseminate this information, and they will not be able to arrest me again. And here I am, talking about it again in the United States, Canada, and all over the world. I cure AIDS. When I got to the police station, the police that's going to fingerprint me said, uh-oh, You all made a mistake. This man really healed. I said, how do you know that? He said, because you healed me. I said, I don't remember healing you. He said, no. I sent a black policeman to tell you that he had gout. And he brought the compounds to me. I no longer have gout. I said, and why didn't you come? He said, because I have been told that you are a black man that doesn't compromise your blackness. I said, I do not compromise my blackness. But in me not compromising my blackness, meaning what? That I don't like white people, Chinese, Arab, or Eskimos? When have you ever known black people to hate anybody? We don't do that. We have never done that. We will never do that because we are kind. We have fought wars for the people that have enslaved us, and we will do it again. Why? Because we humble that way. He said, man, thank you. I said, thank you. Put in jail. And you know what I was thinking while I was in jail? How are they going to escape my brain? You see, I've never been to school. So I am not conditioned to follow a certain rule. I have no perimeters. I have no boundaries. I'm not contained. Not that I have anything against schools, because we live in a society where it is required. But for me, it was necessary. So while I was in jail, I want to know, what defense are they going to have against me? When I got out, on my own recognizance, Judge William Shorter from the 6th Appellate Court, New York Supreme Court. Dr. Sebi, why did you advertise that you could raise? He let me out on my own recognizance until the case would, start. I said, why did I put the ad in the paper that I could raise? He said, yes. I said, Your Honor, I am an African. I have a whole continent that I represent. I have a mother that's still alive. And my face and my mother, I am not going to undermine. He looked at the lady that was sitting at the desk and said to her, the response he just gave me, he cure AIDS. I didn't tell the man I did or I didn't. I just gave him reason why I would not do such a thing if it wasn't true. You see what happened? We live in a world where you have to repeat yourself. When you talk, is that true? Oh, yeah? Well, you're going to have to decipher it because I talk once. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter with me. So while I was in jail, I'm trying to figure out what defense are they going to have against me? Because my thought pattern doesn't come out of a school. No, it does not. It comes straight out of the jungles of Africa. So when the case started, I'm in front of the juries, and the judge said, Dr. Sebi, would you please begin? Where do I begin? She said, begin wherever you wishes to begin because you have no counsel. Well, I didn't retain any counsel because there aren't any lawyers that could have defended me with what I come with because he doesn't know that. I would be crazy to even consider a defense. I say, Your Honor, I have been charged with practicing medicine without a license, selling products that are approved by the FDA, and claiming to cure AIDS and other diseases because I use herbs. She said, yes. I said, Your Honor, Is it a fact that the Holy Bible teaches that the herbs are for the healing of the nations? In the book of Genesis, Ezekiel, and Revelations, he said yes. Is it a fact that the father of medicine, Mr. Hippocrates, 365 years before Christ was even born, this man was healing every disease known to man, establishing the school of medicine known today? You take the Hippocratic oath. So when you take the Hippocratic oath, Your Honor, did Hippocrates use herbs or chemicals? She said, herbs again. Bible says herbs, Hippocrates used herbs. I said, Your Honor, last question, and my case would rest. Is it a fact that the human body is carbon-based? She said yes. And that the substance that's going to complement the human body has to be carbon-based, because the human body only accepts a substance through the process of chemical affinity. Electric body, electric food. She said, right, carbon-based, herbs again. I said, I rest my case. So she looked at the three physicians, Dr. Victor Herbert, Dr. Bonanno, and Dr. Christopher. Dr. Victor Herbert represents the state of New York. Well, you know, the boy didn't go to school, right? These guys have been to school maybe 50, 60 years. Me, when they began to read the history of Dr. Victor Herbert against mine, it took a half an hour for the court to read the history of this man and his accomplishment. And poor old me, this is Dr. Sebi, he's an herbalist. It took 3 words. Wow, I don't deserve nothing more than that. So Dr. Victor Herbert is the genius. He is the scientist, not this boy, Sebi. He's just an herbalist. So when I posed those 3 questions, the judge said, do I get a response? The doctors behaved as if they never heard what I said. The judge got a little bit angry. If I don't get a response in 2 minutes, this man, Dr. Sebi, is going to talk for the remaining period of this case, uninterrupted. Well, what response are they going to give? I just told the truth. See what happened? They didn't expect a black man. Oh yes, I must say that, a black man that never been to school. Oh my God, what could he have in his head? What could he possibly have in his head to challenge Goliath? Are you out of your mind? My friends told me that in New York. You're going to challenge the Supreme Court, boy. They're offering you a plea bargain. Take it. I said, take it. I'm going to take a plea bargain. I said, look, Chinese, they talk about the yin-yang medicine. Indians, they are Ayurvedic. Europeans, homeopathic and allopathic. But what about my mama? I didn't hear any of those perspective that is representative of my mama. What happened to her? She doesn't deserve representation? I think she does. So what I did, I gave her one, the African biomineral balance. So when the doctor did not give the judge a response, the judge said, what is the name of your therapeutical approach? I said, the African biomineral balance. Dr. Victor Herbert said, I've never heard of such a thing. I said, well, he's right. He's right again. Dr. Victor Herbert hasn't heard about the African biomineral balance because he doesn't know everything. He have not heard of everything on the planet. So the African biomineral balance only happened to be one of those things that Dr. Victor Herbert doesn't know about. The judge said, well, what is the African biomineral balance? That differs from the allopathic. It differs, Your Honor, and I'm going to explain only on 2 levels alone. that would be necessary. Traditional medicine claims that there are multiple diseases, that when you have leukemia, diabetes, insanity, you have 3 different diseases. The African biomineral balance negates that position. There's only one disease. Oh my God, why did I say that? Dr. Victor Herbert jumped up and said, this man is insane and he's unscientific. I look at poor little Victor. He needs help. He needs help. And we got to help the brother. The judge said, Dr. Sebi, one disease? I said, yes, Your Honor. There's only one disease. There's never been 2. And this may be the mistake that they've been making. You see what happened? When they identify multiple disease, they treat them with different chemicals. We at the Usha Research Institute, we have identified one. The mucous membrane has been compromised. And wherever in the body that compromise has taken place, a disease would be present. Like, for instance, when you have sinusitis, mucus in the nasal passage, bronchitis, mucus in the bronchial tubes, pneumonia, mucus on the lungs. Dr. Victor Herbert jumped up and said, what about AIDS? I said, oh my God, the brother needs help. I got to help Victor. Victor pretty angry. Victor didn't want me to win because he'd compromised the state of New York. I said, Your Honor, Dr. Victor Herbert is asking about AIDS. Where is the mucus? She said, yes. I said, Your Honor, have you been to an AIDS ward? Yes. What is it that the AIDS patient spits up every 5 minutes? He said, mucus. Where is the mucus then? It's in the skin. It's in the blood. It's in the lymphatic system that makes up the immunological system. That is where you find the mucus, because that is what I do. And do you want proof? Jamal, do you have a book for me to show the audience? You see, when a black man talks, it's unlike a German or a Chinese. He got to show proof. They call it black and white. Oh yeah, for real. Well, they were surprised in the Supreme Court because they could not believe that I'm going to bring to the Supreme Court 77 people cured from AIDS to blindness. That never happened in New York, never in the history of humanity. And then a black man, oh God, no, can't be. Why this? But you see, I didn't do it because I'm black. I'm doing it because I am a servant, not only to black people. I'm a servant to an ants, Chinese, Eskimos, white Hebrews, and everybody else. How else could you be a servant? Oh, we're going to start the discrimination thing? No, we can't do that. I'm not a healer. Not a healer. Because to heal, you have to begin loving yourself. And if you don't love yourself, you can't love others. But when you love yourself, you automatically extend that to everybody and everything. That's automatic. So here we have it now, ladies and gentlemen. You have here, if you could see it, on this side it says the man was positive. On this side it says negative. And this was accomplished in 2 months. There it is. And some more. You want to pass the book and see? You have the privilege. You want to? Here it is. Pass it around.